It's the most common mistakes couples make in marriage, including us. We've made
Common
many of
mistake.
these mistakes in our marriage, but before we jump in, let's lighten this thing up. Let's
Nick says
let's
he's
do
gonna
a
make
would
this.
you rather.
Nick said he's gonna make this serious topic episode very lighthearted and funny. So I'm excited for your jokes.
I might offend some people though. I might offend
Nah.
some people.
Okay, you're
Not
good.
intentionally.
Okay, we're gonna start with would you rather questions on the Ultimate Intimacy app. Can't see them unless you're watching there. Can you see it? Nope. Still,
You
nope.
still can't see
Okay,
it.
I'm just gonna read them.
I guess you can't see it. We'll just read it.
Would you rather get a terrible gift for Christmas or get no gift at all for Christmas?
A terrible gift.
You'd rather get a terrible gift?
Absolutely. We have got some terrible gifts. And what happens when we get a terrible gift?
I want to know.
I talk about it all the time.
That's true.
Or like,
That's
oh, do you
true.
remember that? I gotta be careful. I can't say what the gift was because if someone's listening that gave us that gift,
Mm.
but we do. We have good conversations. Remember that
It's
gift
the
that
good.
so and so gave us? Oh my heck, that thing was hideous. That was
I can
awful.
think of one, but I'm not going to share it.
That's what I'm saying.
I can't share it
we
on
can't
here.
share it on the
We
podcast.
can't share
So,
it on the public.
what would
It
your
can't be
answer?
public.
What would your answer be?
Probably get no gift because I
Get
feel
no
so
gift?
bad. Especially when someone gives you like something that they like expect you to wear and then you're
Or
like, I'm
oh
not
yeah,
putting
yeah,
that
yeah, yeah.
on. Like that's
Or
so bad.
something that you feel like you have to display or put out.
Right.
You're like, that thing is not going in my
I'd
house.
actually just rather not get a gift.
Like a
Yeah.
well, a good example. We got a Snoop Dogg Elf on the Shelf. I would totally display that hanging on
Would
the
you?
shelf.
Would
Yes,
you?
absolutely.
No.
In fact, I was fighting over that in our party, the white elephant gift. Like I was trying to get that for you.
I didn't want it. See, I'd rather not have it.
Amy wanted the Snoop Dogg Elf on a Shelf.
Oh,
I fought for it, but
no,
I
I
didn't
did
get it.
not. I did not. Okay, we're doing one more. Okay.
Okay.
Would you rather die before me or die after me?
Oh, died before, 100%.
Why?
Why?
Yeah, why?
Because I would be sad without you. If you died before me, my life would be a
Okay, that
wreck.
makes sense.
What would I
That
do?
makes sense. Yeah.
If my girl was
I want to
gone?
die after you. I don't want to leave my kids, so
Well, no, no.
I
That's
just
why we ask,
I
would you
think that
rather?
I just want them to have me in their life. I love you. I don't want you to die first.
But I'm waiting for the but.
But
I love you.
you always
But
say that you are 5 years older, so there's a good chance, and you're a
oh, it's a
guy
for sure ski.
that you might go earlier.
I'm
Hopefully
probably
not.
going earlier.
Hopefully not.
That's right.
Okay, should I do one more? Or are we done?
Yeah, throw in one more. Let's
One
lighten this thing up.
more. Would you like more time in your life or more money in your life?
That's a tough one. I would say more money in my life.
Okay. Okay.
And people out there are probably like, why did you just say that?
Yeah,
Do
I'm
I
a
need
horrible
it? Do I need to
person.
explain my reasoning?
Yeah.
Because if you had more money, think of all the memories and good things you could do. If you have more time and you don't have money, you spend your whole day working and
Working.
slaving away, and
Right. No,
that's just my
that's true.
opinion.
That's true.
That's just my opinion. If I knew, like today, if someone came to me and said, "Hey, you got 20 more years left of life, and but you're going to be wealthy," or you got 40 more years left of life, I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's just for sure
Okay.
ski. I would enjoy my 20 years of life with my
I
family and my wife, and I would be like, let's go have a great time.
every time I get a question like that, I'm like, I want details. Like how much money, how much time? Am I going to die tomorrow? Do I get a lot more time? Is it going to be a little bit more time? Is it going to be a lot more money?
I mean, another reason is I don't want to be 95 and having you wipe my butt.
No,
So we don't
no,
want that
no,
happening either. So,
no. Okay, good.
oh, you
Okay.
ready to move on?
Yeah,
Okay.
if you haven't jumped on the would you rather questions, you can see that they start really good conversations. And a lot of marriage comes down to being able to talk, communicate, laugh together, really get to know each other, and to stop letting yourself be complacent in your marriage.
Hmm.
And I think so. Last night, I just have to share this really quick before we jump into this episode, which is probably one of the reasons, some of the mistakes that we made. I'm just going to start with this. I'm going to add this to number one of your list. We get complacent. That's a very, very big mistake.
Oh,
And
100%.
like last night, I was getting ready for bed. It was like 10:30 at night, and Nick's like, "Lono, want to play a game?" No, not that kind of game. Like literally a board game. And like we used to play Rummikub all the time when we first got married. We always like have like a little fun. Winner gets this, winner gets that, whatever. But I was like, what? And then we pulled out this game at 10:30 and our kids hadn't gone to bed yet, our older ones. And they're like, what are you guys doing? And we're like, we're playing a game.
Oh, we sat down by the fire on the floor. We put everything out and we're like, let's have some fun.
Yeah, and the kids are like, "What?" Like, well, yeah, we actually sometimes actually have fun in our marriage.
Yeah, there is things
there was
other than your phone.
yes, and they kind of thought I thought they'd be like, "Okay, whatever, good night." They actually all started sitting around us and like wanting to be involved. I'm like, "No, it's your bedtime. This is our time."
That's right.
And we had to like get them to go to bed, but I don't know, just that it was fun that you brought that up and it was fun and it was something we hadn't done in a while. And sometimes it just takes one person suggesting something exciting for the marriage. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, like we used to do this or I enjoyed that. And so complacency can be a really big mistake when we just get into routine. And I know we've talked about routine in the previous episodes barely, but routine and complacency can really, kill your spark in your marriage. So, anyways, I just wanted
I'm
to
glad you
share
brought
that
that up.
because
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's on your list that you're going to talk about. But I think that's a really big mistake is that we get complacent. And I don't think people talk about it enough.
No, I think you're exactly right. I think that's absolutely that's one of the things is we just feel like things are going smooth. Let's put it on the cruise control button and everything will just be great.
Yep.
And it is when we get complacent that we really start neglecting the other things because we think things are good and oh, we don't really need to put much work into it, right?
Right.
So
Right.
I'm glad that you brought that up. I think that's really important. So some of these things on the list, well, obviously, Amy and I get tons and tons of emails over the past 7 years or so of doing this. We've gotten, tens of thousands probably,
That's
just
a lot.
hearing from people, whether it's through social
Well, maybe
media
comments.
or comments or emails or what have you. And again, we just kind of hear the same common things that people struggle with. And again, these aren't always things that like, meaning you're having a horrible marriage or anything, but they're things that if you, like Amy said, if you get complacent and let them go, it's going to throw you, just down a path or a road to where all of a sudden you're feeling like, man, we're just roommates living together. Like our
Yeah.
marriage is not what we want it to be. So we'll
Right.
talk about those things today. But diving in, obviously, the first one is, just poor communication. And Amy and I earlier on in our marriage, yeah, we talked and we had conversations, and I wouldn't say that our communication was poor at the time, but now I look back and I'm like, oh, it was very poor communication.
Yours.
Like when it came, yeah, mine. When it came to
I
like
want to talk.
talking about tough things, or conflict or things like that, like I was just like, yeah, I don't want to talk about it. And I would say that contributed to a lot of the issues that we had in our relationship. If I would have changed that one thing and been like, yeah, even though this sucks and it's hard to talk about, we need to do it, which is my attitude now. If that one thing would have been different in our relationship, I wonder how many other like issues or things that we went through wouldn't have happened because of that one maybe area where I wasn't good at. So
Yeah, I agree. Not saying that it was all your fault. I'm just saying
no, but I think it really
I think
was.
one person is usually better at communicating and the other one is not usually as good at communicating, and it takes both people learning how to do that. And I really think that makes all the difference in marriage,
and
especially hard things.
As we talk about all the time, a big part of that is listening, right? And I didn't want to sit and listen as to all the things I was doing wrong or whatever, which I was doing plenty. But a lot of that is listening, but having that good communication or those hard conversations, you have to have. I would say our communication on the other end was good. We always had fun things to talk about and things like that. But there's
the deep stuff, yeah.
The deep stuff. You've got to have good communication within your marriage.
And you've got to be patient too, because if one person's like, this is really frustrating me or this is really hurting our marriage, you've got to be, I mean, obviously we've had like total podcasts just on humility, but it's the way you do it too. It's not just like finger pointing, right? But if you got to like come together and be like, how do we fix this as a team? Whatever it is you're having a hard time communicating about, because when it's finger pointing or one person's a little more prideful, which is usually there's someone in the marriage that has a hard time saying sorry. That's me. Do you know what I mean? So like, I don't know, learning how to, we took us so many years. It took us so many years.
Yeah, I'm sorry that you have a hard time saying sorry.
No, my attitude was like, I haven't done anything wrong. What do I need to apologize for?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that's a lot of people's personality, and that does not help either.
Yeah. No,
Right?
totally. I agree. I love the next one. I think we've hit enough on that. The next one is taking each other for granted, and I think that's a big one too. I think you get into
Mhm.
marriage and you're just like, ah, we're already married. Um, you know,
That's just, yeah,
we
that's
really don't need to try as much anymore.
complacency again, huh?
It's amazing how many couples we hear from that were like, yeah, we don't do date night anymore. Why would we do that? We're already married.
Stay
To
married.
stay married, like that's the biggest thing too. I don't understand why couples would be just okay with just having an okay marriage. Like
Hmm.
when it can be so much better and so much more amazing. Like
Hmm.
why would you not put forth a little bit more effort to have something so much better?
Let
Um,
me add on that. I think that couples, when they say, "Oh my gosh, to have a great marriage, we're gonna have to put in so much work," and it does take effort, but I don't know. I have a feel like I have a hard time with the word work because I'm like, marriage shouldn't like feel like work. Your spouse, if you literally took 10 seconds during lunchtime and says, "Hey, I love you so much. I hope you're having a great day," sparks. When your husband or wife gets home from work, "Hey, like I just want to help you with whatever so that we can spend time together tonight," sparks.
it's so
I have
simple.
spent time doing all these things today, and let's just be intimate tonight for 20 minutes. 20 minutes out of your entire 24 hours. Yeah, like that would be really good for our marriage. Sparks. Like it's not like these big, huge things of work that take all this effort. It's walking in when you're frustrated, and instead of snapping or yelling or nagging, it's I'm really frustrated right now. Can we talk about this? Your tone of voice, that brings the sparks. Like it's
Yeah,
not like once you learn those things, like I feel like that took us time too, but once we kind of figured out how to, okay, I disagree with this. Let's just talk about it respectfully and start yelling or getting mad or all those toxic things that happen. I don't know. Those kind of things change marriage, and it's not really work when you figure it out. Once you like get into habit, like we just talked about habits, once you get into a habit of talking respectfully, initiating more often, sending your spouse a sexy or flirty text during the day, like those little tiny things that really don't take a whole lot of effort, they don't feel like work anymore. And then
agreed.
your marriage is passionate, right?
And I'm glad you said that because it really shouldn't feel like work. It should be something like you're excited to do, right? Like
Well, your kids
excited
can feel
to,
like work. Running your house feels like work. Doing meal prep and dishes, that feels like work. Going to work is work. We don't need more work in our life. So how do you make your marriage feel like less work, right? You make it fun. You have to make it fun and you have to make it lighthearted and be like, okay, we have some serious issues. Let's fix it. Let's forgive. Let's both, I mean, I know I'm acting like it's like so easy, but we've been in dark
but it really
places, and
is.
it's easy if you both. And it takes. This is why it's not
Yeah.
easy, is because both people are not always like super great at this, or both willing to change. And I get that that makes it so hard. But when you have two people, and I think most people listening have marriages where they're like, okay, we just want more passion, right? We just want to take our we're not like a therapy. This isn't a therapy podcast. Like,
Yeah.
do the little things that you do change your marriage? That's what I'm trying to get
Oh, you're spitting facts.
at.
Spitting facts. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It shouldn't feel like work, and it really is just the really small and simple things. And I think your perception of how big that mountain is to climb over is what stops people from even trying. They're like, oh my heck,
Right.
this is going to be so much work. There's no way I can do this. Why even try? And that's why most people fail to do things is they think it's going to be
Right.
just so astronomical or hard to do. But in our relationship completely turned around quickly because of the simple things we started doing.
For sure.
And that's why
For
we built
sure.
the app. We're like, oh my heck, there's got to be so many other people out there that can benefit from this. And it
Mm-hmm.
really is that
Oh,
simple.
for sure.
Um, oh, the next one. I am an expert in this. I
What
should
is
have a
this?
PhD. I should be making millions. Failing to resolve conflict.
You're an expert at
I
this?
used to be. Yeah,
Oh,
I used to be.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you've heard our story, we won't bore you with it today, but due to the things that I put us through, it's really easy for me to just kind of hide and be like, I don't want to deal with this because it's going to cause conflict. And I would kind of run from conflict, and
That's true.
that would make things worse and worse. Now I'm a
You
new
run
man.
to the
I
conflict.
run to the conflict. I'm like, bring it on. Come on. Come and get me.
I feel like in most marriages, at least the couples that I know or have talked to, or family members or friends or whatever, like there's one person that's really good at like, let's fix this. I don't want to fight anymore. The other person's like, I'm mad. I don't want to talk right now. That's me. And I need some space. You know what I mean? And I feel like now we've kind of switched. Not that it happens very often, but you're like, let's talk, let's fix this. I don't want things to feel like this. Let's just get it out there. You know what
100%.
I mean?
And
Sometimes
yeah,
I'm like, I'm boiling right now. Just leave me be.
100%.
You know? But I have learned it's very healthy to just be like, you're right. We need to sit down. Let's just get this over with, talk it through, figure out, apologize, forgive, do all those things that we're supposed to do, you know?
The biggest point on this is I think a lot of us feel like, okay, if we don't talk about it, we sweep it under the rug, time will go by and it'll be completely forgotten about, but
Mm-mm.
that never
No,
happens.
it grows.
And
It grows.
I mean, pretty soon you look under the rug and there's like all sorts of stuff. And you're like, where did all this come from? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So take it from us, personal experience. You need to resolve conflict. And once you start learning how to resolve conflict, it actually can become pretty easy.
True.
And then it doesn't become something you're scared to confront. You're like, yeah, let's talk about this.
It's
Let's
true.
get it out of the way, you know?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Uh, moving on. Another big common mistake, huge common mistake is revolving around intimacy. And we're talking about both physically and emotionally.
Oh, are we?
Yes.
Nick added that in.
Is there one particular one you wanted to talk about?
I
Or
know
do
what
you
I like to
want
talk about. I know what you like to talk about. So
Oh,
I'm
I
glad
like
you
to
brought in both in.
I like to talk about emotional intimacy.
Uh-huh.
I get nervous when you bring up the word sex or when you say
Mm-hmm.
sex. My face turns red. I get nervous. I don't
We
know what
have an
to
episode that
say.
has nothing to do with sexual intimacy, and Nick will bring it in. He'll bring it in.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, usually.
All right.
You know I'm
Well,
right.
anyways, lack of intimacy. What would that look like to you, babe?
Lack of intimacy. What
Yeah.
does that look like to me?
Yeah, give us some examples of a lack of intimacy
Intimacy.
in the relationship.
Everyone knows that intimacy means intimacy. That means feeling connected to your spouse. So that means lack of feeling connected to your spouse. It's literally just that simple.
Okay.
That's going to look different to a man versus most women.
Oh, I read your mind. Read your mind.
Read
I
your
saw
mind.
where, well, we read each other's minds then. No, it does. It looks totally different to both men and women.
If you say the word intimacy to a man, he's thinking
it's go time.
it's
Baby.
go time.
Yeah.
If you say intimacy to a woman, she's like romance, listening, communicating, talking, affection, all those
That's
things.
why we just covered
like
it
intimacy
broadly.
is a totally different word.
That's why
Not all women and men. Not trying to put them in a
That's
box.
why we use just a common lack of intimacy as it encompasses everything.
That's why our brand is ultimate intimacy. We want you to have ultimate emotional intimacy. We want you to have ultimate sexual intimacy. We want you to have ultimate recreational intimacy. We want you to have ultimate like physical intimacy. Like there are all so many different areas of intimacy. We want you to have all of them. Ultimate. Yeah. Intimacy, whatever that looks like to you, we want you to have it.
Well, and if you've heard our previous episodes, we talk about how connected emotional intimacy and physical intimacy are, and we hear from so many men like, my wife just never wants to be physically intimate again, and you know the reason why is usually the husband's not emotionally connected to his wife. They go hand in hand. Absolutely. So you know, again, the way you have better intimacy in your marriage is better communication, going on date nights, I mean, it really is that simple. Like, do the things that you did when you were dating. Like, instead of having to name them all out, just like go date. And naturally, those things are probably going to happen again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Enough said?
Enough said? I mean, that's a whole other situation, but we talk about it all the time. So, yeah. No, intimacy is very important in all the areas. And that takes back to number one, communication and not being complacent.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Like they all just tie into each other. I think that's what this episode is the mistakes you're making are not just affecting that one area, they're affecting all the areas. Because when you are complacent, when you stop communicating, when you stop failing to resolve the conflict, all the things that we mentioned, it wrecks intimacy emotionally, which is going to wreck the sexual and the physical. So
100%.
I don't know. Everything is absolutely intertwined in marriage.
100%. Right? Love it. The next one, unrealistic expectations. A good example. So, you know, I'm turning 50 and Amy expects me to have this six pack, just looked ripped.
You're making me
Um,
sound horrible.
no, I'm
He's
joking. I'm
joking.
joking.
And
I
I'm
was
like,
going somewhere with that, but
okay, keep going.
I guess I gotta say I'm joking because a lot of people might not. I'm joking, but unrealistic expectations. It's unrealistic to think that I'm gonna just be ripped and have a six pack and just.
If you bought some weights, you could totally get a six pack.
That's probably true. That's probably true.
Is
Okay,
it
so
unrealistic?
maybe it's not.
It's
Okay, maybe that's.
unrealistic for me to think that he would go do that though.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That's right. All right, so let's get serious. Actually, that was serious. Let's get more
Real
serious
serious.
and talk about what some unrealistic expectations in marriage look like.
I would say that women expect their husbands to read their minds.
Oh man, I was just reading your mind because that's what I was
That's
gonna
what you were
say.
gonna say. That is a
Whew.
really big problem for most of the comments. And I'm sure we've done an episode on this already, but there's so much, and I have mixed feelings on this with the mental load and women saying he should just be able to come home and look around and see what needs to be done. And then I find myself like getting frustrated at Nick when he opens the fridge and he's like, I'll go to the grocery store for you. Will you make me a list? And I'm like, like I understand. Like some days I'm like, why can't you just make the list? And then some days I'm like,
Because
okay, I'll make you a list.
my list might be different than yours. Oh,
But
you didn't want this, and this. You wanted
this, and this.
this, and this.
So the way you fix that whole thing is sitting down and be like, how do we work on this list together? And some women are on their eyes, they're like, I'll just make my husband a stupid list. It's not that big of a deal. And some women are like, make the own date list. I don't have time to make a list, right? Like this is going to look different to every relationship, but it comes down to communicating, like, hey, could you meal prep the next couple nights and take care of the dinners? Then he's going to make his own list.
Yeah.
And just talking about those kind of things, the kind of things that frustrate you. So a lot of women are like, I just wish he would start cleaning. And okay, our definition, and we brought this up before, is different than his definition of cleaning. So we threw a party for some friends on Saturday recently, and it was funny. I was joking with my daughter. We're inside making food for the party, and Nick is back outside cleaning the pool or something, even though the party's in. And I just laughed because I've seen so many social media reels about like, I asked my husband to tidy up the house for our party, and he ends up doing outside chore stuff, which has nothing to do with being in the house for a party. And it's just funny because it's like, instead of getting frustrated, it's like on Saturday, I'm like, I don't want to get frustrated before a party. Like, I want us to be in sync. I want us to be unified for the party. And a lot of women do explain and comment that they get really frustrated before our stuff. Well, I took on the party, you know, and I'm like, okay, if I just communicate, hey, babe, it would be really great if you washed the windows. He washed the windows. He was so attractive. It just took that communication. And a lot of women will be like, well, he should have looked at the windows and just taken it on without you having to ask him. Sometimes we have to realize that we think differently. We can't expect each other to read each other's minds. And sometimes it just takes some simple conversation. I know that you're not going to notice this. Would you mind taking on this? And a husband's like, you're probably not going to notice this. So like, it's just, we're different, and embracing the difference in marriage. That's another mistake. And I don't want to add to your list and get off topic. But another mistake is just thinking that you're the same people and that you have to like be able to think the same. And we're not. Sorry.
Well, and
Did that go off?
no,
Off track?
I think that's good. And I think unrealistic expectations, when you say you expect something, it almost implies that you're not talking about it because you're just expecting
It
it.
comes back to communication.
So I
Yep.
think it comes back to communication, and a lot
Yep.
of you are probably shaking your heads, and we know you feel the same way. I mean, you expect that your spouse by now should know how you feel or know what you think or things like that, and sometimes we don't. So that's why
Right.
you need to get rid of those unrealistic expectations because those are just going to make you get more upset and look at your spouse more negative and more negative
Mhm.
instead of just be like, all right, he's probably not going to notice the windows. Hey, babe, can you take care of the windows? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Problem solved, right?
Right.
Everyone's
Right.
happy, right? And you got to let go of your pride and your ego and just be like, yeah, we have to talk about things because my husband thinks differently or my wife thinks differently than I do. And
I
that's
just
okay.
I just think in this one topic, I just think having your Sunday night or Monday morning or whatever it is, your weekly meeting as a couple, what is happening this week? What does the schedule look like? What can I do? What can you do? What can you help me with? What can I help you with? What does your plate look like this week? How can I take some stuff off of it? Are we feeling in sync? When you ask each other those kind of conversations, which is why we created the You and I app with the Harmony Home feature, Like when you can get on the same page and get organized and
Yeah.
learn to communicate about what's going on in your kids' lives, what's going on with the meals, what's going on with at work, and all the different things that are going on in your life, like it changes everything. It really comes down to communication, and you don't have to expect mind reading when you're already talking about things. It's not really that hard when you learn how to do it.
Well, and we say this all the time, and all these things that we're going through on the list, really, if you have good communication, like you're not going to probably have issues with all these things
Right.
that we're talking about.
Right.
Like almost anything can be resolved with good communication. So if you take anything out of this podcast, even with all the stuff that we're talking about, it all comes back to like, man, if you can talk about things, like you're
Mm-hmm.
probably not going to have these
Yeah.
problems, right?
Yeah. No, I really believe that.
So,
Yeah.
so I guess we can just end the podcast now. But I guess we'll finish
I was
off
like,
what we
oh, that's
had.
it.
But the next common problem is financial mismanagement, and this
Ooh.
doesn't just happen when you're struggling financially. We see this with people that have a lot of money as well too. Like couples have different outlooks on money. One of you might be a saver, one of you might be a spender. Whatever that is, coming back to it, you got to have those talks and
Mhm.
communicate about, money and finances,
And that's
things like that.
tricky because you have to find a real balance there because that can be really frustrating. We don't have that. We're kind of the same. We're both kind of just frugal people and we're
Yeah.
not big spenders. But I think the hardest thing for us is that you can go spend a ton of money on food and I'm like, that's such a waste. Usually there's something, or shoes. I'm like, really? Another pair of shoes? Like, you're probably more, I don't want to say more of a spender because I spend more on the kids and stuff, but like we just have differences and I think you have to value, okay, this is important to him. He loves to buy shoes. He loves to eat out. Those are like the things in his life that he loves. I have to be careful to not nag about that. Like, oh my gosh, it's just food. Why are we going to such a fancy dinner on Friday night again? Stuff like that.
Chili's is fancy.
No, but like he can't, like a lot of people will go grab like a fast food casual kind of place on Friday nights and he wants like a nice sit down every Friday night. And I've just had to learn like we
High
have to we
maintenance.
have to put that in the budget. This is important to him. It's what he loves to do. Like things like that. So that's just
Sure.
taking communication. I'm like, I don't value shoes. I'm not the typical girl. He will come home with a new pair of shoes every time he goes. I mean, they're not expensive shoes.
That's
I know. But I'm just saying, like, we have had to, like, I have learned these are things that are important to him. These are things that he loves to do. And husbands need to, there's a lot of women that are big spenders and finding that budget and like making sure that, okay,
yeah,
you
just
both work really hard. You're both trying to like save for your future and retirement, unless you're already there, and I don't know. It comes down to teamwork and communication once again. I know
yeah.
that word is so boring, communication, but it's literally key.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
literally key to a good marriage.
Agreed. I really like the next one, and this is neglecting personal growth. And we think, um, neglecting personal growth, like how can that cause,
Mm.
strain or issues in the relationship? But I think it's important for us individually to get out and do things, whether it's hobbies or friends, but there's got to be a good balance to
Right,
that, right?
right.
Obviously, if you go the extreme, then you're being selfish, and that's not what you want either. So there's finding good balance, but neglecting personal growth, that can look different to anyone. But
Mm-hmm.
again, just getting out, enjoying things that you do, whether it's hiking or hobbies or different things, and finding a good balance to that.
Yep, agreed.
Any wisdom on that?
You
Anything?
used most of your golf hours the first of our marriage,
So
so you
now,
ran out.
so I'm out. So now I have no personal growth. So it's all neglected.
We're balancing out, so now I take all the personal growth because I gave it up for 10 years. So I'm just joking. No, but that's kind of what happened. Like he used to play his sports daily. He was a big golfer every day of his life, Saturdays, you name it. It was a big problem. And yeah, like you don't do it much anymore, hardly ever. And now I'm the one out playing
She's like,
pickleball
why
and
don't you go play golf?
I look back at my raising little kids years and I never did anything. I did not get out. I did not work on myself. I just catered to my kids for 10 years straight. And I'm making up time for that. So it's about balance. He has regrets. I have regrets. I wish we would have balanced it better from day one. I wish we would have
We
communicated about
learned.
that. It took us time.
100%.
It took us a lot of time.
100%.
But now we communicate. I'm like, yeah, you should go do that. Or he's like, yeah, absolutely. I think you should go do that. And just being supportive of each other and yeah, the balance is hard too. But
Yeah, you should go do that. Just make sure your life insurance is all intact. So just thinking out.
What, your psycho crazy hikes?
Just joking. And following up with the last one, the grand finale is failure to prioritize the relationship.
Hmm. Big mistake. The biggest mistake.
We talk about this all the time. You're going to prioritize what's important to you. So if you're out spending all your time on hobbies or friends or work, I mean, that's obviously what you're prioritizing and what you feel is the most important to you. But I think prioritizing your relationship, as we talk about all the time, it's not necessarily a time thing. It's about just putting things 1st, and that can look different to so many couples. That's about prioritizing date night, prioritizing time to talk and have the discussions you need to. I think it really comes down to prioritizing your relationship, which means your marriage. And we share that all the time. You guys are probably like, okay,
enough.
I don't need to hear all that. So
yeah, especially phones. Sorry, I just have to say it. I have to put in the plug. Turn off your phone.
Yeah,
they're ruining marriages.
I feel like though these are things that we've all had to, you and I have personally had to deal with and have gone through and kind of seen the wrong side and tried to figure out what the right way is, and they make a huge difference. And again, coming back to it, communication. It all comes down to communication. I know you're tired of hearing that, but if you want to have a good marriage, good relationship, everything really comes down to talking about things. So
absolutely. Absolutely. And we have a lot of products and resources to help you learn how to communicate, right?
Yeah, and Christmas is just right around the corner. I think you have about 24 more hours from listening to this podcast that you can still get your last minute Christmas shopping done.
For sure.
We ship stuff out fast. We got great products.
Speaking of conversations,
yeah.
Let's Talk About Sex book, which is talking about emotional connection, dating each other, pursuing each other, getting into the hotter and heavier stuff, like why that's important to keep your marriage passionate. Paired with the Talk About Sex card deck, which is like tons of questions going from emotional to sexual intimacy in your marriage. Yeah. There's some really good ones, deep conversations. We sell a lot of that package, I think, because so many couples, like you might have a wife or a husband who has a higher drive and it's just like, I really need to feel loved this way. And the other spouse will be like, I need to feel more romance to connected to you. I need you to pursue me. And so we talk about, the conversations talk about all those areas in between, from emotional to foreplay to sexual, just everything in marriage that you need to be discussing. And it doesn't matter like how long you've been married or if it's a great newlywed thing. It's a great been married 50 years kind of thing. Like it's important to just keep your marriage alive, right? So we also have our workbooks. We have obviously amazing gifts, stocking stuffers, card decks, coupon books. We have the best coupon books ever. If you need a great stocking stuffer for your husband,
not bragging or anything.
Hey, we made them. We custom designed them. We did ourselves. Like those are custom designed. I'm a graphic designer, made by us. So we really appreciate your support when you buy our products. They're literally from us. So, because we value everyone's marriage and we want you to learn to communicate and keep that passion in there. Like no one marriage is our motto, should be mediocre, right?
Agreed. Wow, in this holiday season, we hope all of you just have a great Christmas and New Year's. And we appreciate all of you listening to the podcast. We look forward to a great 2026 with a lot more good things ahead. And
we have a really big next podcast.
Oh, yeah.
You want to announce?
Well, let's just in case something happens, you'll just want to listen to our next podcast. We got a great guest on. So, next episode.
It's going to be great. Okay.
All right. Thanks for all of you listening. Until next time, I hope all of you find ultimate intimacy in your relationship.